Good afternoon, Murph. How are you feeling today? The restraints aren't too tight, are they?
No, they're okay.
I would like to talk to you about the experience you had at Sprawl-Mart. How do you feel about that?
No.
Sometimes talking about things can be helpful.
No. No, God, no.
I hear you've been having some bad dreams. Perhaps if we were to talk about the experience, you could get some rest.
No, it all started with girl, Samantha.
You're talking about Samantha Rios, the teenager who disappeared last year? Am I correct?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me about it?
Well, it went like this. Welcome to Goonie's World. My name is Goonie, also known as Colin. And joining me on this 2025 Halloween special is Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hey, happy Halloween.
And Lunicorn, also known as Lynn.
Happy Halloween!
There's that witch laugh, which is the same as her normal laugh.
It's true.
And we've got Meanie, also known as Ryan, who we can't hear at all because he's muted. So scary.
Well, what I said was "fuck you." So
He's the classic horror character, the inaudible man. You know, it's the lesser known never mind.
Yes. And we have a special guest. We have Red Rocket, also known as Joe.
Good evening, fellow spookies.
Okay.
Spooky.
And we're going to be playing some Liminal Horror.
Yeah, liminal horror. Make sure you hit that middle R. Liminal Horror Investigator Edition. I don't know if there's other editions, but it's from Goblin Archives. And it's in the so-called Mark of the Odd family of games, like Into the Odd and Cairn, and there's a bit of Mouse Ritter in here. But it builds on those in some cool ways, and we may not even get into every facet of how it does, since we're just playing a one-shot. But if you like those Mark of the Odd systems, but you always thought maybe they ought to be a little more complex, this is a good example of that. And we're playing in one of my favorite settings, the Jupiter Springs universe. And usually when we do that, it's set in the 1980s, but this time it's going to be in the modern day. And it's just one possible future, I guess, of our 1980s setting. But tonight, our characters are investigating the disappearance of a girl named Samantha Rios, who's 17 years old. She's been missing for 3 weeks. She was last seen with other teens in the parking lot of an abandoned superstore called Sprawl-Mart, which is in an area of urban blight in the overly developed too quickly and then fell to ruin area just outside of town. And the police have finally filed Samantha Rios as a possible runaway, but is ultimately unsolved. But they're not going to be investigating it any further. They're pretty sure she's a runaway. The parents don't agree. For one reason or another, you're all connected to that. Some of you because it has echoes of the past of another girl who went missing in similar circumstances back in 1989, just before the Sprawl-Mart opened. But we're going to talk about how you're all connected in a bit. For right now, just picture yourselves at night. It's raining. You're not really supposed to be here, so darkness has fallen, and you're outside the Sprawl-Mart. You're all together. You've arrived in an SUV that one of you owns, and for some reason, I just think it's Colin's character has the SUV, and he drove here. The place is surrounded with a chain link fence, but there's plenty of places where it's cut or torn open and it's easy to get in. So you're walking across the parking lot right now, and there's weeds growing up from the cracks in the parking lot already. This place had its heyday for about 35, 40 years, but it's only been shut down for a couple years, but it's already gone to seed pretty quickly. But just describe it, just at this point, just describe what you look like. Give us your name, but then what do people see when they look at you? Are you carrying anything obvious? It'll be like in a movie when it opens and we see the characters, but we don't really know too much about who they are yet or exactly why they're involved. But let's just start with you, Colin. What do we see when we look at you roaming across this parking lot at night in the rain?
Okay, you probably see a guy that looks like probably in his early 60s, but he's pretty fit guy. He's actually pretty bulky with some muscles, and he's got white hair and a white mustache, and he's carrying several things, but you would definitely notice he's carrying a collapsible ladder and a fire extinguisher and an axe. And other than that, he looks like he's kind of wearing this, like, almost, I don't know what they're called. It's not quite a Hawaiian shirt, but it's similar to that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's got some, like, khaki shorts on and some socks, like some compression socks that are, like tube socks that are pulled all the way up, and some white tennis shoes.
Okay. Ryan, wait, and what's your character's name?
Murph Henderson.
That's right, Murph. Okay, that's Murph. Now, Ryan, tell us about your character.
Well, my name is Danny Cheng. I'm a very tall, very skinny, dark-haired man. And he's carrying a backpack which contains a MacBook as well as a crowbar in one hand. But his clothing is thrift store, like a thrift store suit. It's like frayed and like, not well kept, but he's trying to look nice and presentable.
Okay, great. All right, and Lynn, what do we see when we look at you, and what's your name?
I will be playing Izzy Chastain this evening. She is a bartender. She is small, and she kind of dresses in the Y2K style, has kind of made a comeback recently, and she is definitely a Gen Z. She's about 25. She's got blonde hair. She wears a thick silver chain around her neck and is wearing a pink tank top and jeans and a pair of pink Chucks that matches her pink tank top. And then she's got little butterflies that hold her hair back a little bit. I can't remember if I said she was a blonde, blue-eyed girl. And she's got cute little dimples.
Okay.
And the only thing that you can see, you don't know what's in it, but she carries around a duffel bag full of all kinds of goodies.
Okay. All right. And finally, Joe, tell us about your character.
Mortimer Grimsby, Dr. Mortimer Grimsby. He's a upper middle-aged gentleman. Sort of a tall, lanky frame. He's got the salt and pepper hair that's mostly salt at this point. Clean-shaven. He's wearing a black suit and tie and sort of a black overcoat, like not a fancy, cool action movie overcoat, just like an old man's overcoat, almost like a spy would wear in an old movie.
It's not the Lorenzo Lamas, it's the Donald Sutherland
Exactly.
model, right?
And he could be carrying anything because anything he might need fits into the pockets of his suit or his overcoat. But anyone looking closely would see that one side of the overcoat hangs a little bit heavier than the other.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he leans to the left. Got it. Okay. Well, here you are, and you are all investigating this for reasons we can get into later, exact connections we can talk about later, because right now you're here, and you've gotten in touch with each other via text or introductions or whatever. But this is the last place the girl was seen. Police said they investigated it. You didn't feel right about it, and now you're here. It looks like it's easy to get in. Now, it's a huge, sprawling mega store, and a lot of the windows, of course, that fronted the building are broken out, and a lot of it's boarded up, but there's big sheets of plywood, and there's plenty of places where it's easy to slip inside. I assume you guys amongst you all have at least a flashlight, which seems like you'll probably need. But you'll want to get that out, and you slip inside, and now you're there, and it smells bad. As you shine the beam of the light up into the high ceiling above, you can see it's just sagging with black mold up there. As you sweep it across the floor, there are ominous rows of aisles. They're still intact. The shelving and whatnot is still up in here, but there's huge standing puddles on the floor and dripping sounds every now and then. And yeah, it's nasty and it smells bad. And right up front, there's this huge half-rotted Sprawl-Mart mascot that they used to have. It's this obnoxious character. It's like a sun with a little face in it, like a shiny sun. He's pushing a shopping cart around. And that's half-rotted, but maybe it's because you've disturbed it mildly when you entered. Who knows? But the whole head of it just kind of tilts around and comes to rest, almost locked eye to eye with all of you. And it's mildly unsettling. It's not too stressful, but mildly unsettling. Meanwhile, it's quiet. So it's a huge Sprawl-Mart to explore. Do you guys want to split up?
Before I answer that, I would like to say that Danny has, I don't know if anybody else has a flashlight or whatever light source, but he's got a smartphone that he's using as a flashlight. And when the creepy head of the mascot turns, he's gonna open the camera app and take a picture of it. He's like documenting stuff.
Oh yeah,
because he's a journalist. I mean, he's got to write a story about this.
Well, and this is going to become a found footage horror movie later. So this is the footage that they'll need. That's great. Anyway, that's cool. So that's out, and of course you get a little bit light. I'm assuming you got enough ambient light just to see by, with a few flashlights and phones. But then you can see there's a flicker of light running along the old light fixtures towards the back of the store, which is odd because according to your information, the power has been shut off to this place for quite some time. But like I say, there's a lot to, do you want to stick together in a little cluster? Or do you want to be bold and split up and see what you can find?
I think we should stick together because I'm going to keep my eyes on all of you. I don't know who you are, and we got one guy here. His name is Cheng. Are you from communist China, sir?
I'm from Sacramento originally, actually.
Okay, well, I don't know who you people are. I'm just volunteering my time to help this little girl. And, it could have been anything. She could have run off and she could have been kidnapped by sex traffickers. She could be in Cambodia by now, but we are just going to search this place thoroughly, and I'm going to watch all of you.
I am afraid I would have to disagree with you. It is far more prudent to split up, as this is a large area to search, and we have a better chance of finding something if we were to search separately and simply call out if we find anything.
All right. Listen, boomers. Everybody knows that it is a terrible idea to split up. So we need to all stick together. And you two, or you, Mr. Mortimer Grimsby, need to just shut it.
Mortimer Grimsby.
Yes, doctor, of course.
What kind of doctor are you anyway?
And
Can you take a look at my, I got some gout. Maybe you can help me out with that.
That's actually a perfect opening, because I was about to say that he was going to hand a business card to both Murph and Izzy and say, if there's ever anything you would like to get off your chest, please give me a call and we could schedule a consultation.
Oh, I bet you'd like to get something off my chest.
While they're having this argument or whatever, like Danny's just leaving and gonna go off and search for stuff.
Well, it sounds like at least one of us is split up, and the camera's gonna follow him while the echoes of your discussion ring through the moist and mysterious ruins of this Sprawl-Mart. Danny Chang, you go down to the end of the aisle where the checkout stands used to be, and especially the self-checkout lines. And as you walk past one, you're momentarily startled. The little printer, the receipt, that prints the receipts, activates right when you walk by. And it's startling enough that you take one stress.
Well, I think probably it's startling enough that he's got a crowbar in his hand. He would smash it, damn thing with this crowbar.
Smash. And of course, you guys hear that a little bit away. But you smash it, not before it's printed out, though, a bit of a receipt. And he says, got some writing on it. When you look at it, it says, "Thank you for your sacrifice." And that's mildly unsettling. Anyway, so that was startling. The rest of you guys, when you hear that, do you run up to where he is, or do you split up and go look around?
I'm going to head that way, but I'm going to tell both of them to please give me a call to help you process that unresolved trauma.
Well,
Oh, don't even get me started.
you guys may all have some unresolved trauma.
People of my generation don't have trauma.
No.
Let's deal with it.
Yep. Deal with it like men.
Like men.
Well, I'll show you how I deal with it. And I'm going to remove one of the items from my bag, which is a bottle of tequila with a worm in it.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm going to take a little swig of tequila.
What
How's
are you?
that for a coping mechanism, doctor?
And I'm going to pull out my notebook and pen and start to make notes.
Okay. Well, we'll assume you do that while walking down to
Yes.
where
And
Dan.
I will follow.
Yeah.
This isn't Tijuana, Mexico. Here, we're trying to find a missing girl here, and these kids are all involved in all kinds of things. It was just that. The damn fidget spinners. The kids with their fidget spinners. And I found out that what was really going on was these kids were spinning these fidgets, and they would get hypnotized by the spinning, and they would turn them into communists. and when you look into it, you research it, it all goes back to Obama.
Yes, I have no doubt that this is all very true.
Yeah, well,
You're right. I don't like you. You're right. Yeah. Well, your talk is interrupted as you join Danny Chang at the end of the aisle, where he's smashed up. In a brief moment of panic, he smashed up the self-service checkout at the end of the line. And you're interrupted by the creak of wheels in a shopping cart. You can hear it moving down the aisle, and then it drifts out just into your light around the edge of the first aisle, great big toy aisle, and it just stops. And there's quiet, but that's also unsettling. Everybody, because you're not like paranormal adventurers that's weird, take 1 point of stress. It goes off your hit points. But, you know, in a non-combat situation, pretty much every few minutes you could take a short rest. You know, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But the stress mechanic does exist, and let's not forget about it. Yeah, so anyway.
Something creepy going on here.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you'll have to, if you're going to cover the whole store, you've kind of at least gotten your eyeballs across the front. You know, you can look down and see the row of checkout aisles and where shopping carts used to be stored and whatnot. And now there's all the aisles. You just happen to be on the toy aisle here. It's right at the edge of where they start to filter people into the checkout line, you know, to the kids in the carts will be like, buy me that toy, you know, right before it's time to pay.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so.
Now, did you say there was some light, like some electricity? Or
Yeah, every
maybe?
now and then it's going to flicker, maybe. But every now and then the lights are flickering, kind of running up and down like lightning, you know, along the old light fixtures. But you thought the power was cut. And again, the checkout thing just activated and printed a receipt. But I don't know, it could be ectoplasm.
Let me see that receipt of yours.
Here.
What's it say there?
It says thank you for your sacrifice, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of where it would say thank you for shopping at Sprawl-Mart, but it's like, thank you for your sacrifice.
See, the kids today are all involved in these cults. They sacrifice each other.
Boomers don't know anything. So, yeah.
I know a whole lot more
I'm
than you do,
certainly-
young lady.
I'm certainly involved in no cult, and I don't know any of my friends who are either.
Well, if you don't know whether your friends are in a cult, that's only evidence that they're in a cult. And they're not telling you about it.
This guy gets it.
These friends of yours, are they imaginary? Can anyone else see them?
Yes, Boomer. Oh, excuse me, Dr. Boomer. I can see my friends. They can see me. My parents can see my friends. My other friends can see my other friends. And everybody can see each other.
Yeah. What is it that you do for a living, Missy?
I tend bar, and I am an excellent bartender.
Okay. Well, I'm a volunteer firefighter. Just so you know.
Oh, so you probably spend a lot of time in bars.
I don't know what that means, but I show up to fires, and I'm not part of any organization. I have my own fire extinguisher and my own ladder, and I show up, and they tell me to go home, but I tell them, you got a fire to put out there, and they're dragging their heels and twiddling their thumbs. They got this union of theirs. They don't have to do anything. I'm the only one that's out there trying to help people put out fires.
Just then you hear like a sound of a string pulling. Startles you. It's on the shelf next to you as you begin to meander down the toy aisle while you're listening to this. And so it's like, the cow says moo. And you look over and this little see and spin interrupts you.
God. I don't know what's going on here, but
The pig says oink.
all right now. Who's doing that? Come
The
out
rooster says cock-a-doodle.
now. You damn kids, come out of hiding now. You're busted. And what's that girl's name? Samantha?
Yeah.
We ought to get, if this place has electricity, we ought to get on the PA system and call out for Samantha. Get your butt home. You're in big trouble now. I'm going to go try to find the one of those telephones that those employees talk into.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that is actually pretty logical. So,
Well-
I think that's for a boomer. You've had a really good idea, and I'm impressed with you. And I just want to reassure you that you're safe. Expressing your feelings with all of us. So, thank you for being both brave, authentic, and sincere.
Now you got me all flustered.
Yeah, no, I don't know how to handle that, do you?
I
Well,
want to pick up the toy and like check the back of it, like see if there's a battery in it.
batteries not included, says the label. Of course, it's all like mildewy and nasty, but yeah, eerie. And anyway, but Murph is stalked off to the nearest cross aisle. That might lead to some other part of the store where they could have a control center. If there's something like that, it's probably towards the back. But anyway, just as you stalk off and you've got the see and spell in your, what's it called? See and speak.
Speak and spell?
Speak and whatever. Yeah. There's a speak and spell there too. It says sex. No, it doesn't say that. Anyway, however, suddenly in your path, Murph, shapes begin to come out of the floor. And I mean, it's almost like they're oozing through where the grout should be in the old tile. And they coalesce really rapidly in front of you. They're humanoid shapes almost. They're made of dirt, and bits of rebar are poking out. There's chunks of rock in them, but also bits of bone. These things just crawl up through. There's like a half dozen of them, and they're kind of half-formed and weird, and they have jerky, sudden movements. But they're obviously hostile, and anyone, of course, is going to see this, who's stalked off in that direction. Everybody take D4 stress immediately. I'll let you roll it, but it's that bad, and that's it. You're in combat, and if you want to do anything at all, make a dex save to see if you can go before these horrible things. I'm going to call them soil wraiths, for lack of a better word. So anyone make their dex save, and they can go right now? Nobody?
I rolled a 1, so I did.
There you go. Dice are flying.
I rolled a natural 20.
Well, that's just terrible in this game. So we got a 1 and a 20. Wow.
And another one.
Oh, my goodness.
And I got a 19, so I was just
We're both
barely escaped the 22.
Well,
like
Murph... yeah.
2 on the we're polar opposites.
I know. Well, Murph and Danny are going to be able to spring into action here real quick. What do you guys do? This is scary, but, you're taking stress. You can handle this. You could run away. You could try to fight these things. What do you do?
Well, Danny didn't go with them, so I don't know. He was intending to, actually, when they were going to go off to look for the PA phone or whatever, he was going to try to look for like a circuit breaker or some way to just turn the lights on, essentially.
Okay. Well, if he was going to be walking towards the back of the store, it would have been going in generally the same direction. So this is still within kind of general eye and earshot when this happens. So you could certainly do something. I'll go ahead and defer to somebody who's standing right by it, and then we'll come back to you. What do you do, Murph?
I think his first instinct would be to spray his fire extinguisher
Okay.
on what he doesn't even he can't even process what he's seeing, but
It's hard for any of you, yeah.
Yeah. See some figures, he's going to spray him with the extinguisher.
Okay, you do. Yeah, and they've got fire extinguisher stuff all over them, keep lurching towards you. Now, you see this from about, half an aisle away. Danny, you do anything special here? Or do you want to make a charge towards where you think the lights are?
Yeah, he's already into his control at this point, so he's not probably in much shape to fight. So
Oh, scared, yeah, I would be too.
He's gonna definitely run toward where he thinks he might be able to find like a power on.
Yeah, a lot of these stores generally have like a place in the back with, the heating and air conditioning units and a janitorial room and all that stuff. So you'll head off that way, leaving the sound of this conflict behind you. Meanwhile, the other two, you guys, you can't go. Yeah, you were too startled by these things. And these soil wraiths reach forth with these, I can only call it like, clawing soil strike with these, bits of rebar that were sticking out earlier. And three of them rush up to you, Murph. And before you even know it, you're taking a significant amount of damage, 8 in total. And by the way, I'm rolling 3 dice, but I'm only picking their highest when they're attacking you in a group. And boom, boom, boom. Now you've not got that many HP, so this is a terrible strike.
Okay, I have 8.
So yeah, you're gonna roll 8 or less on a D20 to save versus critical damage, or you'll get a wound.
No, I've got a wound.
No. Well, one thing about this game is it has wound tables, sort of like an ultra simplified form of Warhammer. And so how far down were you below strength? What was your strength originally?
It was 15.
Okay, oh my. So this is going to be a minor injury, almost a major, but not quite. And you've been knocked over by this thing, and you land and badly and dislocate your shoulder. You can just feel it. Oh, man. You're a tough guy, but I bet you scream a little bit on that one. That one hurts.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's going to need some medical attention, at least. But that hurts bad. Meanwhile, you also are, still standing there, even though you haven't had a chance to act yet, Izzy. And 3 of them assault you, and you take 6 points of damage. And luckily for the doctor, there are none left over right here, right now. You get the sense these things might pop up anywhere through the ground. You don't know. Anyway, does that take you down into trouble?
Yes.
It does? Oh, no. So, how far below your strength are you? What's your...
3. My strength is 16, so I'm
Okay.
13.
Okay, so roll 13 or less to avoid critical damage. You're a strong young lady.
Yes, 8.
Okay, you avoid a wound at this point, but it doesn't look good. And only, anyway, Dr. Grinsby, you are in a better position to go than Izzy is right now.
Dr. Grimsby is going to reach into that, since you said left earlier, yes, he's left-handed now. He's going to reach into that left pocket of his overcoat and pull out his small revolver. And he's going to fire a shot at one of these things, because even rational men, when faced with something horrific, they result to their baser instincts.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
He will roll a 2 for damage on that.
A bit of dirt pops off of one of them. And you feel like, yes, you can do some physical damage to them at least. But, okay. And how about finally here at the end of this first 10-second burst of activity, Izzy, what do you do?
I guess I'm going to stab with my bar knife.
You're very brave. You're a very brave you're a courageous young lady.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and apply that to the same one that just got shot, But again, there's still 6 of them, surrounding the 3 of you at the moment. And, okay, we're going to go to our next round here. And then at this point, you can run pretty fast and pretty far in 10 seconds, I imagine, in a Sprawl-Mart. But you make it almost to the back of the store. And you can see there's an area where there's swinging doors and old storerooms. There's employees only and all that, Danny. But just then, 2 of these things loom up out of the ground in front of you. Like they can sense your flesh or your spirit or something. And block your way. You can turn and run in a horror movie panic, or you could try to fight your way through them. Although, I'm sure it's very scary. I will point out, it says in the rulebook too that successfully running away from something can be considered a victory.
I mean, he's already out of HP, and so yeah, like fighting is just not. I mean, his control is down to 9. If he takes any wounds, is greater than 50% chance of taking critical damage. So yeah, he's not. No, he's running the other way.
Yeah. Yep. So you run towards the back of the store. You see this. You turn. Run back. You want to go exactly the way you came, or do you want to go down and take a left towards the center of the store?
Towards where he doesn't know whether there are these things.
Okay, yeah. So to the left towards the center of the store. There's the makeup aisle up ahead of you. You know, the little island with the makeup and stuff. You can see that. A lot of mannequins who all just seem to have turned their head, looking at you as you go past, but maybe that was your imagination. Meanwhile, you guys, the 3 of you are still back here. You're lying on the floor. You've just dislocated your shoulder. It hurts like hell, Murph. You see these things looming up. They're still reaching out to you, these great twisted rebar fingers of death, and terrible musky wet odor coming off of him. And the floor feels unstable, soggy underneath all of you right now, just a little bit, wherever they walk. So what do you do, Murph?
Try to scramble to my feet and try to... I'll get my axe out, but I don't think he's in a position to swing that axe since his shoulder is wretched.
Yeah, not very effectively, no.
And I think he's just kind of try to back away and while yelling at them.
A strategic withdrawal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like in Vietnam, it wasn't a loss, it was a strategic withdrawal. That's right. Okay, how about you, Izzy? What do you do?
So, I am going to run with purpose. With purpose, I'm going to run towards the liquor section.
Okay.
And along the way, if I can, I'm going to grab whatever I can find that's between me and the liquor store, whether that's baby clothes or hand towels or something clothy.
Well, before you get started, running away, and this is gonna apply to you too, by the way, Murph. But running away at all, maybe you can run away from a melee with these things. You have to make dex saves to see you can get that far away. Okay. I didn't really make you make one just because you were just kind of backing up a little bit. You weren't really leaving combat per se, right, Murph? You were just kind of...
Yeah, well, I was hoping they wouldn't pursue me, but I was not running, just backing away.
Yeah, well, they're going to, as you realize they're going to. Yeah. But if anyone wants to get away, they got to make dex saves. And while you guys are making your dex saves, I'll ask Dr. Grimsby what he wants to do. Everyone's running, Grimsby. Everybody's running.
I plan to run as well, but I wanted to advance and sort of grab Murph, like around his good shoulder and drag him, help him.
Nice. Yes, I love it. It's very cinematic and it's very doctorly.
Hey, and I succeeded in that dex save.
That's great. So, how about the rest of you?
Yes.
Succeeded.
Okay, you guys are able to outdistance them for now. They move kind of slowly, but they're still out there. You know what I mean? And so you run a little bit, and you turn around and look, and they're gone. They're slinking back into the floor. Your bones chill, just thinking about popping up ahead of you almost anywhere. You come out. if you also went to the end of that aisle and turned left, you'd find yourself more or less in the center of the store, where you see Danny Chang come running up from your left up here, and you kind of met back up towards the makeup tables, but you can see two of them are chasing him slowly. And what do you guys do? You got a moment's breather. Maybe, and it's not quite long enough for a short rest, so you're still in a panic, but you at least long enough to have a quick conversation about what to do.
I think we should get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I actually agree with the guy. I don't think we're in any position to fight whatever the hell these things are. We got to go and get our heads together and figure out what we're going to do.
Did you say, I know you said Murph's shoulder was dislocated, but did he relocate it yet? Because that would be the first thing Dr. Grimsky would want to do before they leave. He would be like, take a deep breath and then snap. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for it.
And then I'm going to produce a bottle from my inside suit pocket, and I'm going to hand him a little pill. Tell him to swallow this, and everything will be all right.
Now, I don't just take pills from anybody now.
The slopping soil wraiths are getting closer and closer.
God damn it. I hope this is buffering. That's the only painkiller I take is buffering. So I bet he'll take it and swallow it.
And they get closer and closer.
It's time to go, fellas.
Well, as you're running, you realize you could hurt these things, you think, but man, they're very terrible, and that was stressful. And anyone who saw them, don't forget about that D4 stress you took. I know you didn't. You're going to have to... So I'm assuming this is you guys tearing back out the front into that parking lot towards your SUV at the edge of, and getting the hell out of there as you run off into the rainy night. Now, you're in the SUV. Now, if there's a safe place you could go to rest up and relax, I know that, Cece, you work at a bar. That might be a place you could hang out where, people might not bug you. If there's a, back room or back booth there, or if there's anywhere else you guys want to go, park with a shelter house about, a nice crepe restaurant, any place.
I think the bar would be a great place to go.
Okay, what's the name of that bar again? Or I don't remember. Smithers. Okay, I know you're the owner of the bar and everything. Smithers, it's great. It's perfect. Okay, so going to Smithers. It's got a little neon martini glass outside, on the wall there with a little neon olive in it. Maybe it's two of them, kind of crossed a little bit, almost like a skull and crossbones. And you can go into Smithers. It's not like a crazy ass party in here either. There's quiet music, sad song of whatever genre playing on the jukebox. It's either a Carly Simon ballad or a Patsy Cline ballad, depending on whose mood it was when they put it in. And the bartender nods to you, surprised to see you on the night off, but you guys are clearly harried and shocked looking faces, and at least now you can sit down and talk about what to do, have a drink, and regroup, and have a short rest, most importantly, which will restore your HP. However, your strength is still going to be 8 for a while, until you can take a long rest or get some so you're it's horror. You're just going to deal with it. So
and just point of clarification, I didn't take actually any physical damage. It was just stress damage, but I took it. I ran out of HP, and so I was assuming that I should apply that to control. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And even you'll need a full rest before you can get that back. Any ability score damage. Yeah. You need to go to the beach and chill for a couple days and regroup yourself, but no time for that tonight. So you're here. You're all breathing heavily. You've had a drink. Okay, now what do you guys do? I'll assume you're in the booth in the back of the bar, the round booth in the back of the bar, the only one. You can hear the click of the pool table, other comforting barroom sounds. The rain still goes on outside.
I feel as though I should perhaps ask some of my acquaintances at the university in the physics department what sort of phenomenon could seemingly animate debris in such a manner.
They'll probably just tell you you're crazy and hallucinating. Isn't that what you would do if one of them called you and told you that?
Certainly not. I would investigate the phenomenon that they spoke of, and I would not, when they mentioned phenomenon, say phenomena.
Phenomena.
And I would do everything in my power to get to the bottom of their experience.
I think it was just. I'm not sure what I saw, but I know they were dirty, and they're probably just bums. You know, it was an abandoned place. Bums like to hole up in places like that, and they were covered in filth. And that's what I saw.
Well,
But we got to figure out how to kill these bums.
no,
I
They're on
have an
drugs.
idea. Maybe it will work. The reason I was going to the liquor department when we were in Sprawl-Mart was so that we could make fire bombs. I have a lighter, and all we need is some liquor and some rags and my lighter, and we can burn stuff.
Well, what were you going to say, Danny?
Well, I was going to suggest that, I have a friend with the local police who have investigated this. So, surely they have encountered these bums or whatever.
Police, look, don't get me started on the police. They ain't doing their jobs either. And I don't trust them to help us in this situation at all. But, call whoever you want to call.
Now I'm going back to the notebook and writing down next to Murph, textbook paranoia, and next to Izzy,
What are you writing?
Standard alcoholic avoidance.
All right. Well, you do that, and you can text Rosa, if you want, see what's up with it. Rosa being your contact. She's like the police beat reporter, right? It's like she...
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's correct. Yes,
Yeah.
because we work. What's the name? Messenger or something like Jupiter's Messenger is the paper.
Yeah, it's a messenger.
Yeah.
Little Mercury dude on the masthead, I think.
Yeah, we both work for the Messenger. So, yeah, I would like to text Rosa and ask what she knows, or if the police, if she knows about any information the police have about these bum creature things.
She texts you a Google Drive link back, and it just says, "Get this," with an eyeball roll emoji. And it's the police report, for Samantha Rios' disappearance. And it begins off, it's just like almost all redacted already. This would have happened only within the course of the last 3 weeks. And there's only a few things. Minor ground disturbance is one part that's not redacted, and last seen near, and then redacted. And then she writes back, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. And then she says, then she texts you another name. What was Cece's last name?
Cummings.
Yeah. So, and then she goes, Cece Cummings, 1989. And then says, WTF, just call me. And so you call her. And she says, no, this is just like Cece Cummings, 1989. A girl disappeared there. And I started asking questions around. The thing got shut down. No one will talk to me at all about it. And I've already had word from Mort. He's your guy's editor, I guess. Different Mort. He's already put me on something else. I got to go to a craft show now. So That's all I know, but it's already redacted. They're hiding something there at the police department. I'll tell you that for sure. You ought to talk to Detective Dwayne Higginbotham, because he investigated this back. He wrote the report for CC. I can't find it anywhere.
And that was 1989, right?
Yeah, 89. It was like right before the Sprawl-Mart opened. Because you remember that Sprawl-Mart was plagued with problems. It was under construction all through the 80s. People kept dying. And Dwayne investigated it. He's the guy who... But again, he quit the force in disgust after that. That's as best as I can tell from my research. And of course, as is public, he went to Pitchwood and became chief of police for several years. He's retired now.
Is he still up in Pitchwood?
Yeah, I'll text you the GPS for the address. We don't have any phones. I'd go talk to him, but I value my job. I got 3 kids.
All right. Well, I'll try to get in touch with retired Detective Dwayne then. I'm not sure. Do you think there's anybody on the force who I could maybe get an unredacted report from?
Well, not about this one, no. But like I said, the CC file's missing. Dwayne himself might have that for all I know.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your help. I'll look into this more.
Okay. See ya. Hey, we still on for next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, baby. Bye. All right.
Getting some taco.
Yeah. So, okay. And then meanwhile, you could text one of your colleagues, Dr. Otto von Hammer. This is a distinguished... No. You do try to get in touch with some people at the university, but the best that they come up with is stuff that's mildly condescending. Even the open-minded ones chalk it up to hallucinations through some spore release from the black mold you mentioned in the ceiling, that type of thing. And most of them don't believe in spiritual forces.
But clearly, that must have been it.
Well, maybe it was maybe it was Joe Ghost. LOL. They text back, referring to a local legend.
Yeah, Mr. Chang, is it?
Yes.
Now, you better tell us who were you talking to and what did they say?
That was my colleague, Rosa. And she suggested that we look for a retired police officer who investigated a similar disappearance back in 1989.
1989,
Right before this Sprawl-Mart opened.
OMG. I just put it together. My boss used to work with Cece's mom. She was a bartender in this bar. So
Well, I
he
think I
knows
might
her.
have remember that little girl that went missing now. I always read the newspapers. I try to help look for her. I think was told to go home.
Now,
And how did that make you feel?
Make me feel like punching people in their face.
Now, of course, to you, Dr. Grimsby, this talk of Cece Cummings is no news to you at all. Do you talk to your friend? Do you talk to your new colleague? I won't say they're friends. Do you talk to your temporary colleagues about your history with that, or do you keep that to yourself?
When the name comes up, I think I would. I believe she was one of my students back in my counseling days. She had a bit of a troubled home life, if I recall.
Yeah, that girl came from a bad home. I remember that. Doing drugs.
She did not. I think we should just maybe talk to Wes or something because he knows her. She had a tragic life. Her father died when she was very young, and she had to move here with just her mom. And so her mom was trying to take care of her, working as a bartender and trying to raise a child like that. It was not a broken home other than the fact that it was struck by tragedy. So maybe you shouldn't be so judgy.
Well, tragedy brought on by drugs.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
now
the
I know
drugs,
about-
the
I
drugs
know
were
about-
brought on by tragedy, not the other way around.
Well, I know about tragedy. See, my wife died she burnt up in my house, because the goddamn firefighters took too long to get there. And I told them I told them it wasn't me that started the fire. It wasn't me and my damn cigars that I'm always smoking. I'm ashing all over the place. But I told them if you'd gotten here sooner, she'd still be alive. So I know about tragedy.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't be so quick to judge and say someone's on drugs when they're not.
Well, perhaps having found some new degree of empathy with one another. Yeah, if you're going to go talk to this Dwayne, I mean, the best you've got's an address, so,
When Murph is on his rant, Dr. Grimsby is going to sort of elbow Danny and, try to give him a sign to make a note to look into that fire.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Terribly, terribly sorry about to hear about your wife there, Murph. When was that anyway? How long ago?
Oh, it was like 5 years ago.
Wow, crazy. All right. Well, so and Danny's taking notes like look into fire 5 years ago at Murph Henderson's house.
Yeah.
But I think in the meantime, I've got this address of this retired police officer, Detective Dwayne up in Pitchwood.
Oh, I remember that guy. No good. Didn't do nothing. I call the police every single day of my life to tell them about my neighbors or playing music too loud, and they're not following the homeowners association rules. They got stuff in their yard they shouldn't have.
You know what you are, Murph? You're a hater. A hater. And no one likes a hater.
Get kids in their damn lingo.
Well, we'll assume you have this conversation on the way out to the SUV.
Wait. There's something that I would like to do while we're in the bar.
All right.
We don't have time for potty breaks.
Nope. Actually, that's probably a pretty good idea, too. I'm going to say that because I have my contact who is the bar owner. But I also have my best friend who works here. And so Mia Monroe is working behind the bar, and I'm going to go procure us just the cheapest liquor.
You really want to
that
make
they
those
have.
fire bombs, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get enough to make, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. And so I'll get just the cheapest booze that we have in little pints and some bar rags.
All right. You can do that on the way out.
Izzy, since you work here, you would know your talk of haters reminded me of taters, and I haven't eaten since yesterday. Do they serve French fries here?
Well, we sure do. And
French
the
fry
best darn
potatoes.
burger in Jupiter Springs.
Well, as long as it takes to deep fry some taters later. You guys finally got on the road. In fact, you got like a little plastic basket, in the car, right? Eating the fries and the...
Damn in my car.
Better not get any of my seat. Right.
Getting your mustard all over.
Well, sir, you have just grumped yourself out of a delicious French fry.
And
Can't eat at a time like this.
you gun it into the rain. Now, Pitchwood is quite a ways away, but, after some... Hopefully you just listen to music. I can only imagine the awkward conversation you guys would have and the time it took you to get to Pitchwood. But luckily you don't have to go all the way to Pitchwood. It's a nearby town. It's almost at the Nevada border, and it's kind of an unwholesome reputation. If Dwayne came to be the chief of police here, he must have been a tough bastard, despite what Murph thinks. But yeah, Murph probably remembers him as a cop with a bleeding heart liberal reputation. He's hanging out with kids and that type of thing. But and he was friends with Harvey Hedberg, who was a local, no goodnik, probably communist, and anyway,
Well, he was-
pornographer.
Harvey was definitely a capitalist.
That's true. He
Yeah.
was as capitalist as they come. But anyway, the GPS takes you to a location. It's actually outside of Pitchwood, your sides. You don't have to really go all the way in. But there's a long driveway after the GPS lady tells you to turn left. And it's just overgrown gardens on either side. Not like, an estate, but what were once nice gardens, but they're overgrown. But your light from your headlights keeps glinting back in your eyes, and you realize there's a bunch of mirrors set up all throughout the gardens. Like the type of mirror you'd normally hang on a kitchen wall, for example, or whatever. They're
Pervert. This guy's a pervert looking at himself. His junk.
And as you go up this gravel driveway and park near the house, you can see as you get out and get closer that there's actually a big crucifix hanging over the front door, and the windows are all boarded up, and there's cloves of garlic over all the windows and over the doors, and you want to go knock.
I might have been mistaken. Looks like he's a good Christian man. I don't know what all these garlic and mirrors are about, but yeah, well, why don't we knock and see if he's there?
He's probably old like you and thinks that garlic and mirrors will reveal vampires, but
What vampires? Bullshit.
we all know that doesn't work. I mean,
There
the
are.
modern day, I know that was the big thing back in the, 70s and 80s, and when all the old people roamed the earth, and maybe even the 90s, I don't know. But, no, those have all been debunked. If you watch modern vampires, you will find that they don't mind garlic at all. And they do have reflections, which is why they're so pretty all the time. Because
I'm sure you could find some people around here who might persuade you otherwise, but are you guys approaching the door while you're having this discussion, or
yes.
is anyone not? Okay.
No, I'm going.
All right. Well, you're walking up there, and as you get within about, 20 feet of the door, suddenly lights kick on. Boom! Like motion sensor lights, no big deal. But these are so bright. I mean, they're just baking. You feel like you're in a tanning bed. They're like huge UV flood lamps, and they're filling the yard all over in front of the door. And the front door, you can't even see it, because you're momentarily blinded. You can just more sense the front door opening, and a voice says, "Take that, you can fry, you dirty buggers." But then, what the fuck? You hear it say, and you hear some jiggling around, and then suddenly the lights come off. Well, at least you're not vampires. There's a old man. He's older than you guys who think of yourselves as old men. He's in his mid-70s, And he's standing in the doorway, and he looks around the yard. He's had a tracheotomy. He keeps, reaching up, and he's like, "Yeah, all right, you better come inside. And tell me who the fuck you are on the way in." And he backs into the house.
Well, I'm gonna, when he says that, tell me who you are, I'm just going to step forward and say, "Hello again, Dwayne. It's been quite some time."
Wait a minute, weren't you you were a school nurse or something? I was an SRO at Hammond B for a while. I went doctor, no, counselor, yeah. Strange seeing you here. All right, come on in.
Yeah, let me in here.
Well, it's a bachelor's living room, but there's a lot of reading materials piled everywhere. Copies of 40 and Times magazine, but also like Soldier of Fortune magazine. And there's piles of MREs in the corners and all kinds of, whatever legal weapons are all over the walls. I know normal bullets won't do the trick, but I started casting silver. He brings a tray out with some dirty glasses and pours some liquor. Can't be good, whatever brings you here in the middle of the night, he says.
Okay, yeah, no, it's not good. First of all, I'm Murph Henderson, a volunteer firefighter. And we got this Oriental fella here is Danny Cheng.
Wait a minute. Didn't you used to call the tip line regularly back in the day?
You're damn right I did, every
Yeah.
single day.
That's right. Yeah,
You never followed up on anything I said.
You're well known to me.
And then we got this Dr. Mortimer Grimsby, and this young lady.
Thank you. I can speak for myself. My name is Izzy Chastain, and do you mind if I smoke?
Go ahead. I bet you think I'm a smoker. I never smoked a day in my life. It's a terrible irony of this son of a bitchin' thing.
Yeah, real sorry about that. I'm going to light up myself a cigar.
Smoke all you want. It's not going to hurt me now. No, never smoked a day in my life. I got this from a vampire. Almost bit me right through the throat.
I feel like this has suddenly turned into the movie Clue. We all know each other.
Yeah. Yeah, well, anyway, that's the problem with Pitchwood. All the damn vampires. Now it's turned into the Lost Boys. But our longtime listeners will know what we're talking about. Anyway, so yeah, now I know who you are. What brings you here?
Well, yeah, why don't you tell them about everything that you found out there, Cheng?
Yeah, so I write for the I forget the Messenger, is that what?
Oh, Danny Cheng.
Jupiter Springs Messenger.
Danny Cheng, I read you.
Yeah. Well, and I have a colleague, Rosa, who I'm sure you are familiar with from her years as a beat reporter.
She's a young and good girl.
But you see, we have this situation where this young lady has disappeared from the Sprawl-Mart, or from the vicinity of the Sprawl-Mart, which is just awful similar to a case from 1989 involving a young lady named Cece.
Oh, shit. Cece. And he gets, real emotional for a second. And it looks down, gets all verklempt,
I want to, before Dwayne responds, just narrate that I have reached into my pocket and surreptitiously turned on my little recorder.
Okay.
But I come out with a bottle of pills and pop one quickly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Did you take that pill he gave you earlier? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I did.
We should point out you've been feeling just very relaxed ever since then, despite your... You should see... I can't imagine what you'd be like without it. Yeah, you've been feeling
this
quite
is him
relaxed.
relaxed.
You did shoulders. I mean, it kind of hurts a little bit, but really, not bothering you at all. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you got anything in the fridge? Any beer or anything?
I got some pizza rolls and some Campbell's soup in there. Help yourself.
No, I was hoping for a nice beer to relax, because I am feeling a bit relaxed now that we're out of that damn store. It's gone to hell.
Listen, if you're gonna
I
drink,
have some tequila.
if you're gonna drink, be a fucking man. And he pours a big slug of bourbon and hands it to you.
Well, hell, I'll take some bourbon.
I'll take some of that, too.
So you all know Cece. Before you have a big party in my house, let's get this over with. So you all know Cece, and I wrote the original report, right? You want to know what I know about Sprawl-Mart?
Yeah, because we saw some pretty unsavory characters in there.
The whole place is unsavory. They had worker accidents all through the 80s, and there was always pressure to avoid it. Internal security handled it. A lot of coroner's reports called accidents. People fell. But it wasn't until Cece and her friends disappeared. She was part of this mystery club with some other kids. They all came to
Kids.
All of them except one came to bad ends, actually. But no, and I knew them. I knew them all. But they were investigating Sprawl-Mart on their own just before it opened. It was 89, it was.
Yeah, well, let me think. 1989, them kids were all into, that was when they were all playing that game of theirs, the Druids of Dragonell, and they were all worshiping Satan and kissing him in the butthole. I mean, on the butthole.
I never
I
saw
might
it.
have gone inside as well.
I never
Little tongue.
Never. Look, I don't know druids from dragons, but and he meanwhile hustles over to this old file cabinet and he pulls out a file. This is a report I filed at the time. 2 days later, this is what it looked like, and it's eerily similar. He slaps it down in front of you to the one that you already had. But it also mentions unusual ground disturbance, but it's redacted quickly. The only difference is, in the end, take a look at the bottom. Again, this is 48 hours after I filed, mind you. And it says, instructed to file as runaway. It says redacted, redacted, and then in the middle of the sentence picks up, instructed to file as runaway. File closed under directive redacted. That's the part that scared me. And that's why I love the Force. Now,
Well, I have some experience filing Freedom of Information Acts, but
yeah, you have fun with that. I tried to dig deeper. The fucking Jerry Lawless and the feds showed up and shut that down. It became federal jurisdiction.
hell, that's what they do.
They cooked up some kidnapping bullshit, and I could never get closer. So yeah, I left in disgust. I gave up. But lest anyone think I'm a coward, I came here to Pitchwood. Excuse me. God, that's terrible to cough through that tracheotomy hole. That's just the worst. Yeah. But listen, I'll tell you who knows more than anybody. And they're people I couldn't talk to at the time before it got shut down. It's the kids who were with her, the kids I mentioned. You can't talk to one of them. He died of a drug overdose. Chip. He was a good kid. He was never the same after that. And
Damn kids.
and then there's another kid, Merlin Grubb. He's really the one you want to talk to. They used to call him Plunger. He knows more than anybody, if he knows anything at all, because they've got him at Whispering Oaks. It's a mental institution. He was never the same either. And then there was one who was unconscious through most of it. I interviewed the kid at the time, little Dickie Newton. But
Yeah, I remember that kid. No
Well-
good punk.
well, I doubt that Senator Newton will be able to return your calls right now. He's on a fact-finding mission in Uruguay.
You see, that kid is unconscious. I heard they'd call him Sicky Dicky.
Well, that's Richard Newton to you. He's a senator, and he's a Republican, so I should think you'd know him. You didn't put the connection together, did you?
No, sir, I did.
You probably voted. You just vote a straight Republican ticket. You don't even fucking look, do you?
I resent that.
Now, he's a moderate. He's a moderate, and he's a good boy, but, you know, you could have worse. Anyway, you're not going to be able to talk to him, but you could talk to Plunger.
What kind of hell name is Plunger?
Now, he was there. He saw what happened to her. But by the time I got to him, you know, DFS was involved. There was paperwork to be filled out. By the time I could get to him, it was 3 weeks later, and the feds had already taken over the case. I couldn't talk to him. I came here and fought at least here I could fight a battle with enemies I could see.
So where's this Whispering Oaks?
Yeah, just now you guys know it's south of it. You'll have another drive ahead of you, but it's south of Jupiter Springs in an area that got developed in the late '80s by Ming Hua, who later became mayor, of course. And there's some golf courses down there and some mixed-use developments. It's already older now, but
Didn't he also build the Sprawl-Mart? Because I was going to mention him earlier, but didn't want to get too meta.
well, he wasn't really involved in the construction of the Sprawl-Mart.
Yeah,
But,
it was started kind of before he was
Yeah.
a big construction guy on the scene.
I'm sure, though, that he had one of the subcontracts for the concrete work. He would have made sure it at least had that. But he probably was more of a parking lot man at that time. Those of you who know your Jupiter Springs history. But
Which, even that is not even in the podcast.
no,
But,
we played a lot of Jupiter Springs off mic, too.
Yes.
Yeah. But as you can tell, it's a world we love, and I'm sure you all have your own worlds that you love. But Whispering Oaks, yeah, you have to go back to Jupiter Springs and then head south. So another little musical montage as you drive. Perhaps you'll have a blessing, and the second life of that tranquilizer you gave Murph will kick in on the way back, and he won't harangue you guys the entire way. But before you know it, you're pulling up at Whispering Oaks Sanitarium. It's just set far enough, back from Ming Street that it appears to be semi-secluded. And there's a golf course behind it, so that the little walkways. It's not like for an institution for the criminally insane. It's not like that. People here aren't charged with any crime. They've been put here by their families and whatnot. But it's nighttime, of course. But there's always a night manager and night nurses and staff, so you're sure there'll be somebody here. You can park and go up to the door if you like. I'll assume you do. I want to decide for you what you do, but no reason to go sneaking around and crawling down a chimney, right? So, and I would imagine probably that Dr. Grimsby's been here at least a few times, just to confer with patients and whatnot. So he's not unknown to the staff. Well, says the night lady, Nurse Nancy. It's Dr. Grimsby on a cold and stormy night. What did I do to deserve this honor? And now you all get in out of the rain. You run
Hello
around.
again, Nancy.
Hello again. You run around the rain and
My friends and I are out on this horribly stormy night, hoping that we might speak to Mr. Grubb. I have consulted with him. I briefly was his therapist, but I ultimately could not help him.
well, he's up then. Everybody else in their right mind is asleep at a time like this, except for working night. What are you looking at? She said to you, because I guess you can tell you're bristling. Yeah.
well, I'm just going to make sure before we go in there, is it safe? I mean, you've got lunatics locked up in here, and I just want to make sure they're not danger to my health.
Well, don't worry now, Snowflake. If he serves dinner, I'll take away his knife and fork. How about that? Just right this way. He's in the day room at night. Oh. And she leads you down a hall and into a big room. There's some shelves with puzzles and board games, and that sort of thing, and lots of tables. But the overhead lights aren't on. There's just one light at one table over by the windows, overlooking the rainy night gardens and golf course beyond that. And there's a guy sitting at the table. So there he is. Sometimes he feels like talking, sometimes he don't. But this might help a little bit. And she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a cup of banana pudding. And she goes, and if that don't work, she reaches in the other pocket and pulls out it's like a small sample jar of marshmallow fluff. Sometimes he likes that. You can put on a little cracker sometimes. He likes that too. All right. So since you're with the doctor, I'm going to just leave you be. I'm going to go back to watching my stories. And she goes up front. And you guys can walk through the big room to where this guy's sitting alone at the table. Now, he's a heavy-set guy. He's probably early to mid-50s. He has a beard. It was once red, and it's still kind of red, but it's streaked with gray. And he must have kind of a huge, white guy afro at one point, but he's balding on top now, so it kind of fries out on all sides, like old pictures of Larry David, But he's heavy set, thick, and he's wearing pajamas. And he is wearing a T-shirt that says Star Wars, but there's a cross through it, like an X, like a Ghostbuster sign through it, and a robe. And as you get closer, you see he's talking to himself a little bit. He's got a book out at the table. It's a Bible. He's got open to a certain part, and he's got a notebook and a pen, and he's writing. He's like looking at the Bible and muttering to himself. Right, you can get closer and like see what he's doing. But he's not paying any attention to you at all, even as you're obviously looming up around him. So he's oblivious. You're going to hear what he's saying. He's like letters and numbers, letters and numbers. Yeah, you find 4 directions at once, and the 5th direction follows. It's in the 5th direction. That's where. And he's muttering like that. And you see, he's actually open to the book of Ezekiel, and but the page is full of numbers. He's doing advanced mathematics. You know what the fuck? He's out of his mind, obviously. So you guys can have a chat with him if you like.
Hello, Merlin. Do you remember me?
The 5th direction obviously follows. The 5th direction.
All right, now you tried it your way, the gentle, liberal way. Now we've got to try it my way. You damn lunatic, you better start telling us what we want to know, or this is gonna get really bad for you. We're looking for a missing kid. What do you know? Did you take her?
There's teeth in the linoleum. There's teeth in the linoleum.
What the hell did he just say?
Teeth in the linoleum. His stomach growls.
They got this guy all hopped up on goofballs. He can't even talk straight.
I want to sit down across from him, and I'm going to put the pudding in the middle of the table and pull the bag of marbles out of my pocket.
Okay.
Mr. Grubb, are you sure you don't remember me? I would like to speak with you again.
That's not its name. It doesn't take bodies, it takes names.
May I speak with Plunger, please?
Plunger saw some teeth in the linoleum. He opens up the pudding cup and he starts eating it.
What the hell is he talking about? Is there any teeth down here on the linoleum?
I don't see any teeth, but I think he did say something about the 5th dimension.
I think he is
Nonsense.
referring
The 5th
to
direction.
the Sprawl-Mart
Oh.
when he's talking about teeth in the linoleum.
5th direction, Book of Ezekiel.
Now,
But
is
who
that
knows? He's
the 5th
clearly-
direction is... Sorry, but that 5th direction is what them kids are all listening to, I think.
Oh, I think that's one direction, right?
I don't know what these kids are into, except
One
for
Direction
fidget
is
spinners.
so old. It's so funny that you guys think that's what we're listening to. Oh my god!
Meanwhile, he eats his pudding. Bones in a tile grout. Bones in a tile grout. And teeth in
See?
the linoleum. They built a store on a grave.
He's talking
Now-
about the Sprawl-Mart. I'm
Now it's
telling
sense.
you.
Yeah, now it's making sense. Graves, what did he say? I don't know, but yeah, it sounded a little bit coherent, I think.
And also a little bit Delulu.
We tried to follow her, but it spit us back out.
All right, okay now. We want to know, you saw what happened to that girl, C.C. Cummings. Do you know who I'm talking about?
She went down smiling. I can hear her singing. Still, the ground took her, but she went down smiling.
Ground took her.
I know her name. Do you? Have you given her any thought?
Well, yeah, I gave her a lot of thought. I tried to find her.
I tried to find her. The ground spit me out.
Are you saying she went underground?
Behind the aisles, past the broken carts. I could still see the handprint on the storeroom door. That's where the floor bends. But they won't let you. They won't let you.
Who's they?
We were. I should have seen. You need the light that burns without flame. You need the light that burns without flame. Make a line of salt. Make a line of salt. Otherwise, it keeps chewing. It keeps chewing! It keeps chewing! And he knocks the table over, and Nurse Nancy runs in. She's like, there, Plunger. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Calm down. Calm down. And he looks at you guys for a second. He looks mildly confused. They sent you, didn't they?
Who are you talking about?
The Bureau.
No, the messenger sent me. I'm trying to do a report on this missing Samantha girl, whose case is very similar to Cece's.
I sent myself.
You heard what I said. Ezekiel now for me. Ezekiel. When 4 wheels spin in 4 directions, the 5th direction follows. Space travel. Space travel. Alpha Centauri. That's the key. And no matter what you try to say to him for the next 30 minutes, he's now back engrossed. He's got to pick a Bible up off the floor, in his notebook, and she's giving him the marshmallow fluff to calm him down. He's giving you some cryptic clues, but you can tell he's out of his mind and may not be of much further use to you.
Well, one thing he said I think was important, something about light that burns without fire, something like that.
He did. The light that burns without flame.
About flame, yeah, we could get our hands on whatever that is. We might kill these dirt men or whatever we saw.
Well, it appears to me that you may have seen something like that earlier tonight, in fact, already, in Dwayne's house. And if you didn't, put 2 and 2 together, what he's doing is he's flooding UV light into the yard, like the equivalent of sunlight, to kill vampires. That's how you realized you weren't vampires. You didn't start burning up in it. So, if that's what plunger means. And of course, those of you know usually follows in folklore that sunlight, or at least UV light, is traditionally thought of as being harmful to supernatural creatures. And then he also mentioned about salt. He said, make a line of salt, otherwise it keeps chewing. He said a lot of crazy stuff. I'll assume you guys are, going back out to your car at this point, and you can talk about what to do next.
It wouldn't hurt to perhaps procure some of those silver bullets from this Dwayne as well.
Hell, he had a whole freaking arsenal in there. The guy had like tactical armor and weapons and all kinds of crazy shit. Maybe you could probably get there and back, before dawn if you left now. Maybe get his help. But yeah, Plunger also, he gave you pretty specific directions too. It was cryptic, but he talked about he'd seeing her handprint on the storeroom door and behind the aisles, behind the storeroom door where the floor bends. Anyway, I'll assume another driving sequence as you head back out.
From the back, Dr. Grimsby, while Murph is driving, is gonna ask if he has any Roy Orbison on his playlist.
I don't listen to music. I like to drive in silence and hear my engine and hear if there's any tinkering noises.
I'm sure you
if there
listen
is, I
to...
immediately stop and try to figure out what it is. And that's how I have this SUV last so long.
Keeps an ear out. All right, you keep your ear out all the way to... It's a long Roy Orbison-less drive back to Pitchwood. But yeah, Dwayne hooks you up, In fact, he even insists he puts you all in tactical armor. It takes him a while to, find. And just like vests and like SWAT-type helmets. Some of you feel a little bit ridiculous in them. Some of you might feel secretly cool. But he outfits you. The silver bullets aren't that hard to come by. He goes, I don't know if that'll really help, but it makes you feel better. Take them. And then, you got to return these lights. They're not cheap. And he Takes down 2 of the great big ones, and you're going to need this. It's kind of a heavy-ass generator that powers them. And then, he doesn't keep you long, but if I was a little younger, I'd go with you. Anyway, vaya con Dios, he says, and you guys can head back to the Sprawl-Mart. So you guys you'll be glad to know you have armor 2 right now. And you'll soak 2 points of incoming damage. Don't forget to do it. And you know how important that can be now that you've been here once already. And a night of... And it's not dawn yet, but dawn's probably about an hour or so away. You've done a lot of driving back and forth tonight.
The stuff that we got from Dwayne, what sort of weapons were they? I'm assuming it's something better than my revolver.
Oh, you got like bulky assault rifles that do D8 damage. It's ridiculous. It's all you're not personally licensed for any of this stuff. Obviously, but so it is much better armored. But you're better armed with both information and gigantic guns and huge UV floodlights. And we'll assume that you picked up some salt. I'll remember that bit for you, as well. He had about as much faith in the salt as he did in silver bullets, but there's plenty of rock salt around and knock vampires over from a distance.
So one of us could be carrying a salt rifle.
Well, before you make another joke, we better get back inside the Sprawl-Mart. But yeah, it's like you never left, right? And you walk back in, it's still almost the exact same atmosphere. But you've got directions this time. You didn't really have them last time, although some of you did have some instinct to getting to the back of the store. Might be a good idea, but I assume you'll head directly that way, not giving any soil wraiths time to form, and
Perhaps we should find a different entrance on this visit.
I think we're already inside, aren't we?
Well, I had gone ahead and put you right inside, but yeah, and even if you had looked around the building, there wouldn't have been any easy entrances. Possibly best through a rotting roof, ventilation. A lot of the big metal doors and stuff are still intact, and garage bay doors back in the bay. But up front, where all the good glass was, they can't really keep anybody out. But it's a good thought. However, inside, you're still getting the weird flickering lights. And as you're walking past that center makeup stand, and beyond that, it's like the clothing area, and there's a little freestanding module of dressing rooms with some mirrors. And just for a second, and you're the only one that would recognize specifically who it is you see in the mirror, Dr. Grinsby. But all the rest of you see a young girl. Well, really a teen girl, mid-teens, kind of dressed like a tomboy, and she smiles and waves at you, and then when you look at each other and look back, she's gone almost as quickly as she appears. And even though that's kind of a benign thing, it's still supernatural, and it causes one stress. That's weird.
You get back here, kid. We're looking for you.
I would like to shine my phone's flashlight around this mirror to see if it's like a two-way glass, if there's any way I can detect that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, in fact, you realize you can actually kind of see around the back of the mirror even. It's kind of attached to a post, so definitely no easy explanation for what you just saw. But even though it caused a little bit of stress, it still seemed vaguely benign or hopeful, like that, because Dr. Grinsby, you recognize it as Cece.
Yes.
Yeah.
I assumed that. I want to while I'm, examining the glass, I want to touch it. Try to push on it as well.
Just a normal mirror. Certainly not a portal or anything else like you might have heard about in Paranormal Studies magazine. But anyway, just a creepy thing. But maybe she's somehow still here, and trying to encourage you. I don't know. But I assume you'll move towards the back. What was it poor Merlin Grubb said? Behind the aisles, past the broken carts. And then see your handprint on the storeroom doors. And at the back, you make it to the back, past those mirrors and past everything else. And there you have the swinging storeroom doors, say employees only. They're big enough to push carts through. And indeed, if and when you do push through those doors, off to your right is an area where somebody would have repaired shopping carts, fixed the wheels, whatnot. And there's some tables and overturned furniture. And of course, there's dust and crap everywhere. And but there's this. The floor really does bend. It's like it's sinking towards the center. It's like a sinkhole is slowly creating under it, and it's sort of sloping down towards the center of the floor, where there's a bit of a crack. And as I said earlier, there's a lot of mold and heavy, wet smells in here. It's really coming from that crack. It's very pungent. It's like it's not entirely unappealing, but it's also not, and it makes it worse that there are notes of something nice in there. But otherwise, it's putrid. And that's where I leave you here. It's very quiet otherwise.
Well, I think we gotta go down inside. Get underground.
You want to lead the way?
Yeah, I'll lead the way here, fellas. You fall close behind me now.
Okay.
I'm a lady.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Well, you get
You
down.
don't dress very ladylike anyways.
Now, there's a bit of slope here, so...
Dare you. We don't slut shame in these days. Maybe they did that back in your day, Boomer. But
yeah,
we don't.
did that all the time.
We don't slut shame now.
I'm glad that you guys had the presence of mind to have these sorts of cultural discussions right in the middle of,
Goddamn slut!
horror investigation. Well, as you say the words "goddamn slut," you realize there is a slope here. It's going down to the center floor. Assume you got down and try to do it, carefully. But nevertheless, you are at risk. Please make a dex save. Murph.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, you avoid completely sliding all the way down and falling into the little crack, but you're down at the bottom now, and you could see down there if there were any light, at all down inside the crack, but the smell is almost overpowering, almost makes you kind of retch even at this point. But the rest of you, having seen him almost slip, can be a little more careful on the way down, but I don't know, drop a flashlight in there, who knows what's in there.
I have a flashlight, and I will take it out and turn it on.
Okay, and you guys are still lugging around these huge-ass UV lights, too. Let's not forget that. Yeah. So it takes a few minutes to get those down there. But, you turn on the flashlight, shine it around. Inside, there's a cavern down there. It's of earth and roots. But you can also see bones strewn about. And this is just in your little flashlight beam, and bits of broken rebar and chunks of stone. And that's about all the detail you can make out from up here. But you're going to have to kind of jump down in there and hope that the equipment, takes the fall. And it's going to be about landing right and everything else. But it could just be about landing solidly with strong legs, so you can make your choice of a strength or dex save to get yourselves and your equipment down there without taking a minor injury. Each of you can go ahead and make that.
Come on down here, pansies.
Some you made it then.
Well, I'd already fallen down, or failed to fall down. I thought
No, I
made a dex save, but
no, this is just to get down through the crack into the
Okay.
cavern below. Yeah, but I don't see anyone crying.
I failed the dex save on the slut slide.
I did as well.
Well, you you find yourself in the cavern, but you take 3 HP as you land badly on an ankle there, Dr. Grimsby, and you take 1. But don't forget, you guys are kind of armored up now. You take 1, Izzy. And how did Danny Cheng do?
Nat 20.
Oh my! Well, luckily it's not like a critical failure, but it's always a failure. And you take 3 points of damage too, landing badly.
Would that armor that we just procured come into play with the ankle injury? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I just mentioned it. Yeah. Yeah, we don't worry too much about hit location. You guys are armored up as best you can. And at least one of you is wearing compression socks, so that's good. Anyway,
I'm still going to pop another pill.
And you've got your lights in the generator there, and they're not all set up yet, but otherwise it's a big-sized cavern. And again, there's that hot, wet, gross smell. And now that you're down in here, there's not so much a sound, but like a pulse. Almost. That sounds almost like a heartbeat. It feels like a heartbeat. And suddenly, the floor, the ground beneath you feels suddenly unstable. In fact, it's slowly starting to liquefy beneath you. And I imagine you're almost panic-stricken when scramble out of the way. It's almost like the dirt's turning to quicksand beneath your feet. But as that happens, even you're shining your flashlight around still desperately. I know there's other light sources down. You guys get your phones and whatnot out. But there's a cluster of roots that you see just as you're about to fall that you can see there's a person in the roots. And you can even see the dark hair, the pictures you've seen of Samantha Rios. She's here. She's clustered up in the roots. Whether she's alive or dead, you don't know. Meanwhile, make deck saves real quick to not get swallowed up by the earth. And if you do, it could be bad. Oh, and Danny Cheng jumps out of the way. Ryan's giving me a big thumbs up. And when I see, everybody, that's so lucky that you do not become engulfed by the earth. Because then this huge amorphous shape is really like a huge version of what you saw earlier. Rises up from all around you, mostly in front of you, to where you got a little bit of room behind you. You could back up maybe. But it's this huge shape of shifting soil and bones, and again, chunks of rebar, also concrete and rock. But the worst part is, right in the center is this huge, disturbingly human jaw and teeth. You ever seen pictures of that one fish that has like that creepy human tooth type mouth? That's kind of what it looks like, and it's just awful. And that's where most of the stench is coming from. This maw, we'll call it, this gaping maw in front of you. And it's so horrific that everybody take 1d8 stress. You can go ahead and roll for yourself. I think we can all agree that's bad. Nope, that's nasty. That's a major supernatural thing. And it is awful.
Does armor absorb stress?
No, it does not.
I assumed not.
Yeah, but maybe if you should have put a tinfoil helmet on before you know. So, I don't know if anyone's too bad off, but if they're cracking down into their control at this point. But that's what we see. And you guys didn't get to go first. It tried to go first. It tried to engulf you. And so now you guys can do whatever you think you can do with this maw beneath the Sprawl-Mart.
Well, we'll start with the firing of the assault rifle.
All right. You just like, bah, 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 open up into it. Again, that's D8. You can go ahead and roll.
3.
Well, every little bit helps. And, this thing, obviously, you feel like this thing probably has some rather significant armor, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but I forgot, just a reminder that we have lights and salt and all that.
That's what I was going to do, so...
Yeah, I'll start it off with the assault rifle and see how that works, and then make our way towards the other stuff.
Well, Danny Chang, you seem pretty quick on your feet. What do?
So Danny was going to try to fire up the generator and hook up the lights.
Yeah, you doing that takes your turn, but by the end of it, lights flare out, and you can see the thing cringe almost a little bit. Little bits of smoke coming up off of it. And go ahead and roll D6. And keep track of this. Every single round that those are on, they will do D6 damage in addition to whatever else you guys are doing. And even though it wasn't apparent the first time you fought this thing, it can regenerate. Even if you were to do critical damage to it, it would just regenerate, but not under the UV lights. So how much...
Well, so I'm just going to roll for that on every turn. Just 'cause
Yeah.
So, but 6 this turn.
Nice. Okay. And there we go. How about Dr. Grimsby? What do you do?
Well, I was thinking along the same lines as Danny, but I was going to throw a fistful of salt towards what my brain is telling me is its face, because it has this maw.
mouth?
So there would be, logically, it must have a face, and I'm going to throw salt into its face because I'm a logical human being.
Well, you're a logical human being, and you throw some salt. You're not sure what good it did. You do remember something about they're making a line of salt, maybe. But that might be... But this is a terrible situation. You're under a lot of stress. I can't remember every little detail. But you're on the right track with salt, I can tell you that much. And finally, Izzy, what do you do? This is like nothing you've ever seen before. This is horrible.
Okay, so, when I was growing up, my mom watched this really goofy show called Supernatural. And so I'm going to take a cue from Sam and Dean, and I am going to pour a circle of salt around the maw.
Well, you can't get... It's too big.
Okay.
You can pour a circle of salt around yourself, maybe, or a line between you and it, but you wouldn't be able to get around it. Partly because it's partially attached to the earth. You know what I mean? It's hard to get behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will pour a line down between us and it.
Okay.
And Dr. Grimsby, being the logical human being that he is, feels the need to point out that this silly show that Izzy's mother used to watch when she was a child, air quotes, only ended 5 years ago, coincidentally, around the same time as Mr. Henderson's house burned down.
Well, all right.
I didn't watch the damn show, but I heard about the damn kids and I wasn't smoking the cigar. I can tell you that much.
Well, as much as we'd love to delve into the lore and talk about how pretty Jared Padalecki is, we're going to stay focused in the moment here. So you've all acted once, and then the ground ripples out from it, and it stops right at this line of salt. And the maw, even at that point, it's this audible, what might be rage or frustration. You think there's some sort of ground-based attack it may have just tried to do, but that it couldn't. But that gives you guys a split second to do something else before it can think of another tactic. And so what do you do now? We'll go and start with Ryan, I guess, so he can roll for the light damage on this thing.
Yeah, well, and so in addition to the whatever... So I'm rolling a D8 and a D6 because he's... In addition to the light, he's going to take a shot with the assault rifle.
Okay.
Ooh, man. So that's going to be a 6 and a 4, so 10.
Okay. Now he'll soak a little bit of that rifle, but not the light. So all right. Now, you guys are getting up there. Now, you've all together, due to soak, you've already done about 12 points of damage, 12 HP to this thing. Of course, you're not thinking of it in those terms. And how about, let's just go up to Dr. Grimsby this time. What do you do?
Dr. Grimsby is also going to fire the assault rifle at the the tangible bit, like the stone bits, not the sort of black
Not the
emptiness
dirt.
between.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. In fact, you know what? You're trying to pinpoint your damage for the best. Why don't you take impaired damage for all the good it'll do you? I mean, why don't you go ahead and take impaired damage, D12, for trying to fire at a vital spot?
So that would be enhanced damage?
Yeah, impair. What am I talking about? It's opposite day. I'm under a curse.
I wish that I could move this in a way that would not foul the result because I rolled a 12.
Okay. Well, 12 is helpful right now. We'll soak a little bit of that.
And
of course,
also, when I initially rolled the D8, I rolled an 8. So.
Okay. Nice. All right. How about you, Murph?
So is this salt that was put down is in front of everybody, or is
Yeah,
it?
it's like a line
Okay.
in front of you guys
Yeah.
where you're standing, yeah.
Yeah, looks like this salt's working. I thought that at first that the kids was talking about the salt was like a nickname for drugs, doing a line of drugs, but looks like it's working. So yeah, I'll make sure I'm behind that, and I will fire again with my assault
All right,
rifle.
yeah. And I'm assuming you guys got the silver bullet too. I mean, why not?
Right.
Sure.
Go ahead and roll.
And this is D8.
Yeah.
For some reason, since Izzy put it down, I'm picturing this salt line as like pink Himalayan sea salt.
Oh, this is the very best.
That's right. Only the best.
Yeah.
Well, I got
Okay.
a 6 damage.
Okay, that's great. And how about finally Izzy?
Assault rifle.
Yeah, so you guys stand
8.
behind your line. Muzzles blazing. 8. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And you guys feel like you've really poured a lot of damage into it, and that, like I say, maybe it could regenerate all these bullet wounds, but not with these big floodlights on it, and they're doing a little bit of damage all the time to it. And nevertheless, maybe it can't reach you through the ground because of the salt, but suddenly the whole thing shudders. And a blast of bone shards fills the room. Everybody takes damage. I'm going to roll separately here to the nasty, because it's a D10, which is huge in the system. And you take 8 points of damage, Izzy, and Danny takes 7. And Murph only takes 1. He's so cute. And that is 3 for you, lucky Dr. Grimsby. Nasty.
Not so lucky because that all went to my strength.
Well, don't forget, though, you can still soak 2 of it, so only 1 went to your strength. Yeah. All right.
So wait,
So, but-
I stress goes to control.
This stress goes to control, and damage goes to strength, like normal damage.
Yep.
But both of them reduce HP.
All right. Well, I'm down to 4 strength and rolled a 16. So
you're going to be wounded. Is there anyone else who's going to be wounded before we...
Oh,
I-
I forgot to roll. For that.
Yeah.
When I roll, like, basically I have exactly 0 hit points. I did not drop below 0.
Then you're fine. And you're fine for the moment. And how about...
I failed by 1.
Okay, so how far below strength are you then, Ryan?
7.
7.
Oh no,
is
sorry,
severity.
5.
5, that's good, because that's the difference between a minor injury. It's the worst of the minor injuries. And since this is chunks of bone, I'm going to have to interpret that probably as stabbing, slashing, and biting. It's like, oh no. Hey, pick a hand. Let's make it not your non-dominant hand. How about that? But, yeah, you look in horror as fingers of your left or right hand, your choice, are severed. Maybe not every single one, and maybe not cleanly, but there's like, if most of the fingers are mangled stumps, it just hits you bad. There's blood pouring out. It's horrible. There's no further stress loss or anything. Although if this was Warhammer, that would be horrible, Danny. And then how about, how far down below strength are you, Mortimer Grimsby?
Luckily, I am only 1 point down on my strength.
Okay, well, looking for you, that's some shallow shallow cut. But hey, you know what? I'll use their hit location here, since it doesn't specifically, and that's on the face though. Ooh, shallow cuts on your face. Your pretty clean-shaven face. You're shaved a little closer by that bone shard. And yeah, you guys are hurt badly, or you're potentially hurt even worse. And you guys better lay into it and see if you can't put that horrible thing out of its misery right now. We'll go ahead and start with the wounded, but still, you've still got some lights, even if you don't do anything else. So let's have you go ahead and roll for the UV lights on this thing, Danny, and then see what else you could do, even though your fingers are blown off on that one hand.
Well, I can still pull the trigger with my right hand, so.
That's right. And you...
A 6 and a 2 for the lights.
Okay. Nice. It's going to 2 for the lights. And you know what? Now, just in that little bit, the thing has a great and terrible shudder. And yet it remains intact, but that should tell everyone something. And, Murph, what do you do?
I'm going to point my gun at it and say, "All right, dirt man, it's time for you to take a dirt nap." Blast.
All right.
Ooh, 8.
Oh, my God. Okay. Now, I had a very, very, very high strength, but already I got to roll like a 9 or less here to... I rolled a 1. And its quiver stays intact, but now you guys know it's only a matter of time. Izzy, what do you do?
Assault rifle.
Okay. Those muzzles of those assault rifles are getting hot.
6.
Okay. And, no, I mean, there's hardly any chance. No, and the entire thing erupts in bone shards. And this is the potentially sad part, is, well, luckily, the much wounded Danny Chang only takes 1 point of damage from this one, and so soaks it. You take 8, however, Izzy, and 8 also for Dr. Grimsby, and 6 for Murph, and yet the thing is absolutely destroyed. But let's see if you are too. Okay. Who's down? How far below?
I have 7 strength left.
Okay, how far below are you from your top?
My top is
How many?
16, so 9.
Oh, Jesus Lord.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You
My
guys look
babe.
over. You look over in horror at poor Izzy, whose throat has been ripped out by a chunk of bone that's embedded in some rebar. She's dead.
Nasty way to go.
She's dead. And anyone else in trouble? Dr. Grimsby, what happens with you?
I am 7 below my strength, which leaves my strength at 2, and I failed the roll by 1.
Okay. 7
7 points down.
Okay, I'm going to roll randomly for a limb here. And it is it says knee. I'm going to interpret that as knee down. And, yeah, you fall to the ground as your hold on your left leg below the knee is just shredded off. And blood is gushing. I mean, you better tourniquet that shit or you'll die of blood loss soon, too. Anyone else in big, big trouble?
So, we had taken stress earlier, right? And
Yeah.
that affects your hit.
Yeah, stress just
Yeah.
takes away hit points the same way damage does.
Yeah. Okay, so I had 1, and then I took 6, or 4, really. So I would be 3 into my strength.
Okay. So you're 3 down in strength, which isn't terrible. But you've been...
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But you're stabbed. You're stabbed with a chunk of It should be a Native American's middle finger, but it's not. It's you're stabbed right through with a chunk of rebar. I mean, you're alive now, but I mean, this is the kind of shit you need an ambulance, right? Rebar is just running right through your torso. It didn't hit a major organ, perhaps. And then Danny's okay, right? Well, aside from having his fingers over.
Well, and I wasn't sure if watching all these horrific injuries occur to his companions would incur additional stress, but
it doesn't. But, however, everyone who's still alive after that, at least alive for now, make a control save. And if you fail, lose D4 control. Yeah.
barely made it.
Okay. I lost 2 control.
Okay. And while you could get that back with, a long rest, however, that much control abstractly has been taken from you. You've lost memories of certain things, names of things. Your mind is damaged a little bit. You begin to have some insight of what, Plunger might have gone through. But then, as you all stagger around, terribly wounded, or look over at your poor, brave, dead friend, you do hear a voice. It's like a young girl's voice with a slight southern accent. And it says, I kept it full. I kept it full so it wouldn't take no more, but I'm so tired now. Just burn it all so I can move on. Burn it all so we can all move on. Move on, move on, move on. And also don't forget that Samantha Rios is still here, wrapped up in, Yeah.
You move on now, Cece. Go to heaven, oh Jesus.
Well, and you know what? There's one final thing that Izzy's done for you, because she had the foresight to bring materials that could, when placed in the right areas, light up this entire abandoned Sprawl-Mart and burn it all.
So, I say let's see if we can free Samantha and then just burn the fucking place down.
Yeah, you do. She's covered with slime, and but she's still alive. And it's almost like it's drawing nutrients from her, like CC might have sacrificed herself to keep this thing at bay, and lasted as long as she could these last 30, 40 years or whatever it was. But it's sad, and then yet another young lady has lost her life here in the struggle against this horrible thing, but it's gone for good now. And I think
say a few words for our fallen, I ain't going to say comrade because that's communist, but our fallen partner here. Say a few words and then give her a Viking funeral, maybe.
Well, however you want to do it, I like to think of maybe by this point, you've set a fire, and I think we're safe cutting to a slow motion montage of the entire, Sprawl-Mart in flames with fire trucks pulling up and you guys limping out the doorway as EMTs rush to, pull rebar out of you and tourniquet your mangled legs and hands and take the body of poor Izzy onto the cart. And yet, you have destroyed the maw of the forgotten. Sprawl-Mart was built on they say, like Plunger said, they built a store on a grave. That was a problem back in the 80s. Ryan actually created that, back in the day. They tried to build this on an Indian burial ground. And this is the ultimate expression of that here in the future. Hopefully, the real future of Jupiter Springs won't be that way, and Cece won't die, and Plunger won't end up institutionalized, and Chip might take some drugs, but hopefully they won't kill him.
Not too much.
And so that's where we'll go ahead and leave it. Again, that was the Liminal Horror Investigators Edition from Goblin Archive. And the music in this episode, I'll mention, were the songs Temple of and Legend of Mojo Boots from the album Snowflakes of Summer by 6DB, which is me and my buddy Scott Chafin, who's been on our podcast before. You can find it at brightonstreetghost.bandcamp.com. And I don't know if we've ever mentioned it specifically, but our show's regular theme music is from Meanie. And so, happy Halloween. Say happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween,
everybody.
Hey everyone, if you like this podcast, consider leaving us a good rating and/or review, and subscribe to us wherever you can. We've got a YouTube channel and a Discord server, as well as merchandise available at TeePublic. Find our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at Linktree/GooniesWorld. Thanks for listening.